Good night.
What happened?
Awesome concert.
Oh, there was a concert. Tell me about it.
Well,
Who was there?
It was really good.
I love it. Thank y'all for being here again. Excited to be here. I think we're all still a little jet lagged, but thank you for being patient with us and caring and loving. And
it's amazing how you still make that work with these chairs.
I have to.
That's your thing.
That's my thing, man.
But I tried to do that with these chairs one time. I think I was imitating you, and I was like, I pulled my groin.
You're stronger than I am, so I'm more flexible. But hi guys.
Long legs.
Can't wait to hear from y'all. So let's get off to it. We have no lines.
Good morning. Oh, sorry.
God? Chuck? Was that you?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Who's talking?
Sorry, I thought you were looking at me.
I was. I can't see you. Yeah.
There you are.
How are you? Good morning.
So I was recently watching a movie of a biography, and I was wondering if you could make it happen as actor, director, EP, whatever. What would be a biography you would be interested in bringing to screen?
Oh wow. So if we had to act in it, or produce it, or direct it?
A biography.
In whichever way, what would be a biography you would think would be great to bring to screen?
Yeah, gosh. God, does something hit you?
What hasn't been done?
Yeah. I can say this, not an answer to your question, but adjacent. In the last week, the world lost one of my favorite actors, Val Kilmer. And his autobiography was great. I think it's called Val. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. But I'm a big fan of his from Tombstone and Top Gun and basically The Saint, which is a personal favorite. Everything he's done really top secret. But what? Wow.
You know, for me, I mean, I love bands. Any rock doc. I love rock documentaries. I really enjoyed the one they just did on Bob Dylan. I thought that was really well done. Timothy Chalamet did a great job. So somebody like that, you know, that's not been done. There's the Beatle one. You know, they're going to do 4 different movies of each Beatle. Yeah.
Eddie Vedder.
The Eddie Vedder documentary. Yeah, that's Eddie Vedder movie.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mine has been done. I love Nelson Mandela's biography.
Oh wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Eddie Vedder or Nelson Mandela.
Very good.
Tom Petty. Tom Petty would be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I like the music stuff, but Nelson Mandela for sure.
And musicians seem to have more interesting lives.
Yeah.
Like when I fly home from here, Toronto, or wherever, I'm like, okay, taking the kids to school. Okay, picking them up from school. Okay, going to bed. Rock stars are like, so I did like 15 pounds of heroin. Then I shot some dude. Then he shot me back. Then I flew to outer space. Then I came back and I wrote Sweet Caroline.
Exactly. Yeah, the Keith Richards biography is fantastic. It's fantastic, and it's such a rock star, you know. Like he wrote some of the best songs just strung out on heroin, you know. I don't think my sister.
We're doing this all wrong.
Yeah.
We need to do more heroin. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Of course.
Hi. Actually, my question is kind of moving, evolving. I wonder if you guys can watch the Oscars in a regular basis, or if you used to someday in your life, and if you have a movie that you were really happy that won, and one that you were really oh no.
I totally have an opinion about this. I've watched the Oscars since I was a kid. It was like a thing that my family did. So for me, it's one of the few things where I can pretend I'm not in the industry and watch it and be like, one of these days, knock on wood, I'll be there. But I'm still, just enamored with the Hollywood the Hollywoodness of it all. And so yeah, I love it. One of my favorite memories is it was 1984, I believe, and Raiders of the Lost Ark was up for Best Movie, and Red was up for Best Movie. But there's this English movie called Chariots of Fire that I personally just loved, and it was inspiring. I was a runner, and so it was inspiring to me. And Chariots of Fire won, so that was just like, for me, I was a 14-year-old kid. I was like, Chariots of Fire, I feel like it was my movie that I discovered, and I won the Oscar. So that's my favorite memory. And then there were movies, some movies, yeah, there have been a couple movies that won where I was like, well, but
I was really happy Parasite won.
yeah.
Yeah, that was an amazing movie. And my wife and I watched it during COVID, during the pandemic. Like I had just flown home from Vancouver after 14 plus years. And I was like, I don't know, I want to go back to work. And so we like Netflix and chill. And we watched it, and every shot, I was like, this is so wonderful. Like this, the way the the driveway is going from the bottom left of the screen to the top right. It's like a photo. And I remember, much like you, we watched the Oscars growing up as well. And my mom was an English teacher. She retired, but she was an English teacher in high school. And she also taught Shakespeare and heroes, myths, and legends. And so I think it was 98 or 99, Shakespeare in Love was up against Saving Private Ryan. And I was I'm gonna say this, I loved both movies, but I thought Saving Private Ryan was like best movie I had ever seen. It was just jaw-dropping. And so when Shakespeare in Love won, my mom was really excited because she was like, this is great, more people will read Shakespeare. And I was like, it should have been Saving Private Ryan. But I remember that vividly. Do you have anything that comes to mind?
This year,
Or any year.
I was happy because a Brazilian movie won for the first time in the international category, and I was really mad because the Brazilian actress lost it. Eric Manson, but we were in the World Cup mood, so
Yeah. Well, fair enough. Well, congrats on the international movie.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, obrigado. Cheers.
Yeah, it's my good time of year for movies too. Like all the best movies come out in December, whatever. It's good times.
Hi.
Hello guys.
Hi.
My question is, I'm a nursery school teacher and I get to hear a lot, I can't do your job. And I personally couldn't do your job. So do you have a job where you think, oh, I couldn't do that?
Yeah, elementary school teacher. Especially in Germany.
Yes.
I would be terrible.
I am German.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
tell.
yeah.
We
got that part.
You don't say.
What a coincidence!
No shite.
No scheisse.
9 scheiße.
Nein, scheisse.
Very good.
You know what's funny is that I'm gonna go back to Supernatural. We were in so many different locations. Every episode took place kind of in a different city. It was all Vancouver, but different spots. Until we did an episode where Dean wasn't Dean, Sam wasn't Sam. He was like my boss in an office. What was it called? Yeah, that episode was called. It's a terrible, terrible life, or it's a,
Oh yeah, I know that one.
It's a terrible life.
There you go. It is.
Yeah.
But that episode we shot in that office for like 5 days straight, and my character was in a cubicle.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like I hadn't been used to ever working in a cubicle for and it was difficult. And I was like, oh my god, like my dad was an accountant, like he worked in a cubicle, And so I was like, God, like there are people who are just working their asses off, no window in sight. And it was really difficult. So I think basically any job, whatever, I mean, you gotta work, you gotta pay your bills, but jobs that don't offer, jobs that aren't geared towards meeting new people, seeing new places would be difficult. It would be really difficult. And also like my ADD.
Couldn't do the same thing every day.
Yeah, I'd be like really fidgety and trying to.
I couldn't do the job either, so
Yeah,
I'm with
fair
you
enough.
on that.
Yeah, what about you?
I've got a natural tremor in my hand, So I couldn't, even if I wanted to, I couldn't do like what your brother does. I couldn't be like a surgeon. Like to me, a nightmare is like a plastic surgeon. You know what I mean? Which I played. I can play one on TV, but like really like, yeah, like fixing someone's nose or whatever. Just be like, Margaret, grab my hand real quick. So yeah, that would be not good for me.
I broke my arm. You wake up, you have 3 arms.
And then they'll get the doctor, he's like,
Dr. Benedict, my arm feels better, but I have more of them.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. How are you? Hi.
Thank you for being here. It's a dream for me to meet you and to nice you. I love you so much. Thank you.
Love you too, thank you.
My question is, your kids are growing up. Have they seen Supernatural? What do you tell them about Supernatural and your experience on the movie set?
I'll start. Mine are younger and older than Rob's. I have an interesting situation where, you know, my kids know a lot of the cast, especially Uncle Jensen and his kids. So I don't know if they're yet ready to see Uncle Jensen kill Mom with the help of Dad. So it's a bit. I haven't watched it with them yet. I've watched Scooby Natural, which had some scary parts to it with them. But no, I haven't really watched a lot of it yet.
You're watching the show again. It's like it's violent, man.
It's violent. It's violent. Jim Beaver texted me, God, a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
He's watching it.
He's watching it with his daughter. And he sent me a text out of the blue. It was like fucking 1 a.m. or something in Texas. But he's a night owl. And he's like, hey, watching the show with my daughter. And I didn't realize this, but y'all are pretty good actors. True. It's legit what he said.
Thanks, Bobby.
Yeah, I was like, thanks, Bobby Singer. But yeah, so I'm excited to go back and watch it with them at some point in time. That having been said, my now 11-year-old Shep, my middle kid, we watched the pilot of Walker together, and we had people over. It was like just after the pandemic, at the tail end, and so we were all kind of like, it was outside. We had a little projector we put in the driveway to have people watch it. And then Jen dies in the show, you know, and if I don't know spoiler, sorry, I should have said spoiler. Yeah, that was a spoiler. But then we're kind of like, you know, there are 30 people there, and so we're saying goodbye to everybody, and we're like, hey, where's Shep? We check his room, he's not in there. We're like, check over there, and not over there. And we're like, Shep, we're yelling. He had we're all there. Mom is there, Mom is awake and alive. We're watching a TV show, and we go to our front yard, and we have this like big oak tree. He's behind it, sitting on the ground crying. Yeah. He's like, what? And it's funny. He goes, what? If Dad's the boss, why does he make you die? Because Jen was like, yeah, your dad's a producer. And I was like, I didn't write it, buddy. I didn't write it.
It's like really, she wasn't upset to watch her die, she's upset that she doesn't have a job anymore.
Now you have to be home all the time.
Why isn't she in episode 3?
So I haven't yet. Have you watched stuff with the kids?
You know, my kids were never interested in it.
How do they like the boys?
What's that?
How do they like the boys?
Well, that's what I'm saying. My kids were never really interested in what it's just Dad's job, right? And they've even like walked through the room like, what's that? Supernatural? Oh, cool. And but then when they got old enough, now Calvin's 21 and Audrey's 18, and they get credit with their friends, because Calvin especially, the 21-year-old, has a lot of friends that are Supernatural fans, and it's like naturally a lot of kids his age were watching the show, and so it was kind of a cool thing. Like, yeah, he's like, yeah, my dad. He's very humble, yeah, my dad's in that. But Audrey, who's a little more introverted, she just realized that she could get cred because of the boys. So because the boys in her class, yeah. So this is her favorite. So this is her favorite thing to do. Is the boys in her class? Oh, dude, I love the boys. The boys are awesome. She's like, oh yeah. Have you seen the scene with the guy who eats his own bottom? And yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, that scene's so sick. She's like, yeah, that's my dad. She loves saying that. Yes, you can.
I'm sweating thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
I know. I have to go to like my safe place, you know. Okay, that's what it is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hi.
Hello. My question is, when people meet you on the streets, what name do they call you? Mr. Padalecki, Mr. Benedict, or Sam, Chuck, or how do they approach you?
That's a good question.
I've had people. I mean, most people don't, but they just walk on by. But I have people, especially in airports for some reason, and specifically at TSA, like where you do your bag check, and they'll say, "You're God." Or like,
Yes, I am.
yeah, which is really strange, but the other people around like. But you know, or I'll be in a shop, they're like, I'm like, thanks, like, anything for God. It's kind of bizarre. And so when you think about it, it's kind of weird. You're like, yeah, cool, man.
Don't tell anybody. I used to get, so I have a funny story. I had a girlfriend at like season 1 of Supernatural, and she lived in LA. And she was flying from LA to Vancouver to come visit. And she was on the plane, and the guy next to her was like, hey, well, you live in Canada? Or she's like, no, I live in LA, I'm going to visit my boyfriend. He's like, oh, cool, like, is he Canadian? And she's like, no, he's doing a TV show for enough. And this is going to go somewhere. He's like, what TV show? She goes, it's new, it's called Supernatural. He's like, oh, yeah. Oh, who is he? She's like, he's one of the brothers. And he goes, oh, cool. Is he the short one or the one from Seventh Heaven? And she goes, well, neither of them are short, but he's the one from Seventh Heaven. And she didn't want to explain it. And then a couple months ago, I was with somebody, I forget who, but they had a security guard, and the guy was like, dude, I'm a big fan. I was like, thanks, man. Like, that's cool. He goes, yeah, and I didn't even realize until I was watching Ocean's 11 that you were in that poker scene. I was like, oh, cool. I went back and watched it. He thought I was Barry Watson.
That's so funny.
It's cool. He's a great guy. Great handsome dude.
People will do that. If they recognize you, but then they conflate you with like another person. The other day, I was getting my tattoo, and this other tattoo artist was like, dude, I don't think I understood. He's like, did you do an ad for, and he said, oh, like a watch brand, and he's like, did you do an ad for what? And I was like, yeah. And he just kind of like, he's like, yeah, I thought that was, he was like, yeah. You just kind of get used to say that, because I've done so much shit that sometimes I'm like, did I do that? And then he was like, yeah, who's the photographer on that? Like, yeah, that wasn't me, man. That wasn't me. I couldn't come up with it. I don't know, some model in a watch ad.
Nice.
Or something, I don't know. But you just record it on my wrist.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I guess these days, it's either the guy from, are you the guy from Supernatural? Or are you Jared? Or nothing. Or like, just walk down the street.
That's a tall dude.
I also do wear a lot of Supernatural shirts when I go out in public. Just with my face.
When we did the Tough Mudder, the race in together where we get muddy, we run such a great, yeah. And it was like me, Jared Jensen, Mans, Spade, Osric, and Spade made us all jerseys. And on the back of the jersey was our last name. And we realized that was a bad idea. Because anybody was like, are those the dudes from... It is the guy from Supernatural. So we had a lot of people running right along with us. Like,
like sweating and muddy and stinky. And like, yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We don't normally look like this. But yeah. What would you call us?
I would just hear your first name, Jared and Rob.
Okay, fair enough.
That's good.
That's a good answer.
I like that.
Thank you. And thank you.
Hi.
Nice to see you here. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for
And
having
the
me.
question is the following. So, if you could take one thing from the supernatural series and bring it to life, bring it to reality, so what would it be and why?
The bunker. The middle letters bunker.
Just because it's a cool space.
Yeah, it's a cool space. We used it so much at the end there that it kind of felt homey. It felt like Sam's place.
It did.
You know? Yeah, so like being there, a lot to do, gee, I'm sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bunker. Yeah, I'm sweating. What's that?
The kitchen was cool.
Yeah.
That table was
the
cool.
big table room, the library.
Yeah.
There was something, even in long days, in those last several seasons, there was something that felt very peaceful to me about it. And we did so many episodes where Sam and Dean or whatever would be in like a random motel room, and they always felt icky. They weren't. They were clean and all that, or like hotel sets, or hospital sets, or police precinct sets. But the middle letters bunker and Bobby's house, which has been gone for a while. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bummer to see Bobby's house go.
Yeah.
I just got to that part.
Yeah. It gets worse, don't worry.
Oh no. I can imagine why though, because you never had a standing set. You never had a home base. You were just hotel room to hotel room. So it makes sense that like once you finally had a place to go, and I was in some of those later seasons where it felt good to sort of be there. And there's so many little spots you could recreate.
Yeah.
What would I want to bring to life? I don't know. I mean, I guess it would be pretty cool to be God. That would be have that kind of power. I mean, that'd be pretty awesome.
Just go to an airport, go to TSA.
Exactly. Yeah. That's not weed in my backpack. You don't smell anything. Yeah. But yeah, that'd be cool. But I would be a benevolent God. I'd be a good God. I'd bring peace on earth and everything else. Not the way Chuck was at the end of the show. But yeah, I guess that and men of letters.
Thank you, Anastasia.
Thank you, yes.
Thank you.
I'm gonna turn the fan on because I'm like jet lag sweating or what?
Yeah. Well, you're also wearing a knit cap. I'm just saying.
I always do.
I know, not to be your father, but that's gonna make you hotter.
How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Okay. My question is that you have done a lot of follow-ups over the years.
Yes, great question.
Okay.
Thank you.
No.
How are you?
So my question is a two-part. One, what is your favorite like pose to the fans? Like one fan and then a group of fans. And then the other question. Oh, okay. Yes, first one. Yeah.
1A and B.
1A. I'm a big hugger. Like, do you know the whole like, what's your love language kind of thing?
Yeah.
I'm learning it, but I'm a touchy guy, which, what's that? You don't mind? So yeah, so I'm certainly a hugging kind of guy. Like, we're here, fuck it. Like, don't waste a hug. With the groove, And thank y'all because I'm big and smelly and sweaty, so I appreciate you being willing to hug me. Well, I am now. But with the groove, the Charlie's Angels Blue Steel is kind of fun. To just be goofy and silly and you know, act like a weirdo. I'm a hugger and I'm a weirdo, so somewhere in between those two.
Jared and I have a lot in common. We do. Pearl Jam, awkward huggers. I love to hug. Like that's my sort of love language as well. And you know, and so I mean, there are people that come up and be like, I'm like, what haven't we done? They're like, well, we have about 18 hugs, so we gotta think of something else. But I do love hugging. That's my favorite. And then with the group, I'm kind of a fan of boy band pose.
Squad goals.
Like trying to be, what up?
What about you?
I like hugs too. And the second part was, what is the most, like, not famous, but like the popular one, like the most people do, not maybe your favorite, but what have you seen like the most of the years? What is the most requested?
Maybe selfie?
No, like pose.
No,
Selfie pose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, people know that I hug, and probably Jared too, so that's the most sort of like, can we hug?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also, I mean, so many, but it's also, this one, the face one, that gets asked a lot, you know. When Richard and I did Kings of Con, we did a play on that where Rich and Rob get their picture with Jensen and Jared, and they keep coming back around as we're trying to pitch in the show. And so we do all the poses with them. It's pretty funny. We do the totem pole, we do the face in the hand, and take you from behind. That's always fun. That's always fun, especially when we go into Europe and people are like, can you take me from behind? And I'm always like, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Looking forward to our hard name today.
Okay, he'll take you from mine.
I was so little you wouldn't be able to tell him there. Every time someone's like, can we do prom photo or whatever, and I'm behind, I'm always like...
Well, yeah, that's one of the funny things. Sometimes when people are first at a con, like first experience, they'll be like, okay, big group photo, and then someone will be like, Jared, this way. And I'm like, well, if I'm in front, like, you're not gonna fucking see anybody. They're like, Jared, come sit here. I'm like, okay, I'm fucking 6'5", guys. Like, okay.
Fucked up Titanic pose.
So the picture is just like Rob's hands on my tummy and my face. Thank you, wherever you went. I guess. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm a bit shaky because I just met Cass, so.
Don't go into plastic surgery.
I'm a drama teacher back home, and I teach elementary, so 5 years, 10, all of the school, 800 students. I wanted to ask, what was your favorite drama exercise, drama game that you used to do when you were at school? I know you did some theater there when you were at school.
I did, yeah. Rob did more. Let me think about that. Do you have a...
I mean, Zip Zap Zop was
Yeah.
You guys do that? That was always fun. Zip Zap Zop, so it goes zip zap zop, you're in a circle and you're like zip. And the person that receives the zip goes to another person, zap.
Zap or zip.
You go back and zip, zap, zop. You just like, it just keeps your brain thinking, you're passing the zip zap zop. So you're receiving the information and giving the
So
information.
focus and concentration.
Yeah,
basically.
and it kind of teaches listening in a scene.
Yeah.
I see.
Nice, stop.
If it helps, my kids, the older ones, love improv games. They really love improv.
Yeah, improv games are amazing. I mean, improv itself is just such a great tool for actors to learn. I mean, and people. I mean, the number one rule of improv is yes and. So if him and I are doing an improv scene, and I go, you're the king of England, and I bow to you, and if he goes, no, I'm not, then
It's to sell out.
Exactly.
The scene from The Office, the Ricky Gervais,
Yeah.
where they do the improv.
Yeah.
It's like, there's been a murder on the 13th floor. It's like, we don't have a 13th floor.
Exactly, it's like the worst improv. And so, as a person, I love hanging out with people who are good at improv, like, as a lot of my friends are improv people. It's fun to be with people who are like, yeah. And also,
Yeah, that may be similar. This is kind of improv. Like, the thing that I think I go to the most in my preparation, we would do something where everybody in the class would sit just cross-legged on the ground, and someone would stand up, and you have to, like, if everybody's sitting here, it'd be like, okay, and you're casually strolling, and so you just kind of like casually stroll until you get to this line, and be like, okay, you're casually strolling, and you think someone's following you, so you casually stroll and kind of like just throw a little glance around. kind of give a look. So, okay, you're casually strolling and you think someone's following you and you have to go to the bathroom, whatever. So you're kind of like casually strolling and but trying to point being, okay, and your right foot hurts. So you're casually strolling, you think someone's behind you, but you kind of go to the bathroom. But I mean, like, it'd be absurd stuff, like, and you have allergies, and so you're kind of like trying to work it all in, and it wouldn't be, the idea was to make it as realistic as possible, so you're not like, trying to make it subtle. And so doing that kind of stuff, trying to make it not just like, hey, I'm angry, so I'm angry, but like I'm angry, but I'm holding it back in, but I really want to fucking say it, but I'm not going to say it because we're in public. But I want to like trying to multi-layer it, and there was something also. My drama teacher, when I was my theater teacher when I was in high school, one of the ways he'd have people audition for plays that we didn't know yet. Like we had like 6 or 7 people that were kind of in all the plays, but if somebody from football or from whatever, from school would come audition, he wouldn't even have them read the scene. He'd have them get up in front of everybody, and say like, okay, sit in the chair, okay, listen to the mouse in the corner. Strange, right? And you see some people like, like really showy, and then you see some people just casually glancing towards it. He's like, okay, cool, that's an actor. Like they're listening. And Tom Hanks said something like that. Like a lot of people can deliver lines. You can tell somebody, hey, I'm going to the store. I need you to say it like this. I'm going to the store. Oh, that's another thing. Like how do you say one sentence 3 different ways?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to the store. Or I'm going to the store, I am going, like how do
Going to the store.
Different tonalities.
I'm going, yeah. So just kind of ways to make it multi-layered, something that Rob does amazing. He's done it for many years. But I think a lot of the actors and actresses on Supernatural did that. It wasn't just like, hey, deliver a line the way I'm happy. But like, yeah, I'm happy, but I'm not like,
Listening is such a hard
listening. That's what Tom Hanks said. He's like, a lot of people can deliver lines, not a lot can listen. Like listen and react. That's all you gotta do. But that's awesome. Have fun with your students.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Of course, thank you.
Hi, I'm Emily from France. I was always wondering, does baby belong to Sam and Dean or to Dean?
Oh, merci, Emily. Well, technically, one baby belongs to Jared, and one belongs to Nancy. Currently.
Yeah, both.
Yeah, we both have one.
How many were there?
There were 6, 5 or 6, but some were just for parts. There was number 1, number 2. Number 1 is the one with the big engine. Jensen has that. Number 2, we call it Baby Bro. It was a smaller engine, but we would, like if we were shooting in a neighborhood at 1 a.m., there were noise ordinances, is that the word translated? There were noise restrictions, like regulations, where you couldn't have the big giant engine in a neighborhood because like kids are going to school in the morning and stuff. So that one went to me. Number 3 was the stunt Impala, that on the gear shift, there was a little button that you could lock up the rear axle, so you could do like spin out and stuff like that. Also had a little bit more like robust chassis. And then like 4, 5, and 6, 1 came apart totally, which we did like in the episode maybe where we're sleeping in the car. They just took the roof off. Like, all right, Padalecki, you're in the backseat, Knuckles, you're up front. And so we just lay there like, and then a few that were for parts. I think in the story, and this is funny because I'm actually the big car guy, like I still, my first car I ever had was a 69 Camaro, I still have it. But I've always been like into, like I had fan belts and spark plugs when I went to high school in case something broke and I kind of tinker. But I think Baby belonged to Dean. It belonged to Dad, then it belonged to Dean, and then it belonged to Sam. which I think is a cool way a lot of vehicles or watches or heirlooms go. You know, it kind of goes to the oldest, the next. So, but it belongs to all of us now.
Thank you.
Oh.
Well, I guess that's our time. Yes, break.
Love you guys. Thank
Love
you.
you guys. Thank you so much.